This is K.O.P.A,
The roar, the pride,
brothers in boots.
we stood side by side. We built
The
a
league,
we built a name. We played for love, not fortune or fame.
this is K.O.P.A.
Our hearts are song, the spirit leaves, it's never gone.
Yes, as welcome to This is K.O.P.A. I'm Stel. Mike is here, and we have another special guest for you guys. Mike, bring in our guest, my guy.
Yeah, good evening, Stel. Right, I want to introduce to you Tony Ponnou, another one of our K.O.P.A legends, long history in K.O.P.A. And Tony was a renowned player from really young all the way through to, he's going to tell us about, was it 4 or 5 decades? He's going to tell us that he played in K.O.P.A over 5 decades. So, good evening, Tony. Thanks for coming on. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks. Apologies in the car. I thought I'd go back to the office. The office is locked up, but pleasure to be on. Thank you so much for the invite. Love what you guys are doing. It's great. Keep it going, and let's talk as much as we can about K.O.P.A.
We'll do.
Thank you,
So,
Tony.
Tone, first question. How did you first get involved with the K.O.P.A League? Which club did you play for?
The first club that I played for was Omonia back in 80. I would say 88. It might have been 89. I can't remember exactly. So that's 1 decade, the 80s. Everyone's hair was a mess back then, but what can you do?
You had hair.
There was lots of hair in the 80s. Trust me, too much. I actually signed or gave my photo to K.O.P.A initially, but I didn't do one or the other, so I wasn't officially registered for them. But I was a friend of mine, Mario Piscius, took me there, training a bit. I was gonna join them. I was enjoying it, but then first game of the season, I went to watch K.O.P.A versus Omonia at Broomfield Park. So another friend of mine who'd been scouted by Omonia's scouting system on the beach on Mackenzie Beach in Larnaca. And got told to come and try out at Omonia in London, and he told me to go training with him. Omonia won that game 1-0, so I went training with Fully during the week. Basically got there late and joined in on a was it Wembley doubles? Winner stays on. They were playing
Wembley
indoors.
doubles, come on.
And me and Fully were the Wembley doubles of Winchmore School back in the day. So we stayed on. Jimmy Cattle liked us, and straight into the team on Sunday. And the K.O.P.A journey began there. Didn't know anything at all about K.O.P.A, but that first season, you soon realised how good it was, not just in terms of the quality of the football, but what it meant to the community. It was set up as a community thing back in the 70s, and I think it still had that feel in the late 80s. And what had happened as well, the level of football had just increased. The number of teams there was a lot of teams. I think 2 divisions, maybe even 3. I'm not sure. I think 3 had maybe stopped then, but good, like 18 teams in each division, and every team had a really, really strong committee. And the Omonia committee was great. So yeah, that's when it started, and played for a very good, young, exciting Omonia side with Jimmy Cattle. And a mention to his coach as well, who in my whole time I've played football, Saturdays as well. Marcel was the best coach that I ever had, for sure, 100%.
Excellent. So, we've a couple of our other guests previously, George and Chris Musigos. We talked about, I said to them, was that really the golden era of K.O.P.A, the late 80s, early 90s, where you had some really top teams? And, I'm going to ask you about the Omonia AL rivalry, both going for the league. What, in your opinion, made it that period? What was it?
So I think it reached a point there where, AL, the players at AL were good enough to have been pro then. I think a lot of them were pros, if not semi-pros, but they're better players than you see on the TV in the Premier League now. Proper footballers. And then if you want to compete with those, you had to improve as teams, which Omonia did. Anothoses were strong. You had Athletic, you had Salamina, you had Hermes. Like, all of these teams could all beat each other. It wasn't AL were like run away with it. Everyone was beating each other. And I think the second or third year that I was at Omonia when we won the league, that K.O.P.A had built a really, really good, exciting, young attacking side. And from all the decades, lots of decades that I played in K.O.P.A, that was definitely the strongest it'd been. You can argue sort of, the Salamina team that won the All England and whatever, they were a great side. But I think, the AL team, the Omonia team that I played for, we would have given, we would have beaten them. And that's not sort of saying, oh yeah, it was always better back in the day. For me, it was, and not just the football, everything, the crowds, the coverage it used to get. As a youngster, you all you would look forward to is a Sunday, the game. That was it. It was like that was more important than anything.
Brilliant. So talk us through some of the players. Take us through some of the characters, the personalities. Whether it was training and playing on a midweek with Omonia, training with Omonia, but also playing against some of these teams you mentioned. Give us some stories that you remember.
Oh, I mean, there were tough characters, and I think Chris Musigos said it on his one as well. It's like you felt like you were playing against men, even though we were 18, 19, we were men as well. But this AL team, some of the Athletic had a centre back called Brian Hines, who was like 6'4". He would fly in the air. You get a corner, Athletic would get a corner, you knew they're probably going to score. Shagalia, AL, proper men. I'm sure if you look back at photos, you probably think, oh, hang on a second, they don't look. But at that time, that's what it felt like. I'll give you one funny thing. We were on tour with Omonia we went to Cyprus. We played Omonia in Cyprus. I think we played Akhna and we played Ayanapa. First division, second division, third division. We got there. One of the guys who played for Omonia, Raymond Bennett, Ray, gets to Cyprus. He's turned around and he goes, everyone knows my name. Because everyone was saying Daxire to him. Right?
Oh my God.
Classic. I mean, some of the stories, best left in the changing rooms. There's, one classic story. I'm sure the Omonia lot know. One of the guys had lots of sons. Another guy kept on having daughters in the changing room. He's asking him, "What's the secret?" And he gave him the secret, but he's long-winded and it's not for public sharing. But there have been plenty out there that know that story. It was classic.
We ain't gonna ask you to name and shame, man. We don't want to get into trouble. That's why we're recording these now.
Yeah. And there was characters everywhere. Not just the players, the supporters, the committee members, the referees were characters. You just had everything about it, especially then, was enjoyable. It made you want to go and play, made you want to go and watch the games, everything. I'm sure the referees, you had George on the other week, I'm sure he enjoyed doing it as well. You just felt part of this thing, and the publicity was there as well. You had LGR on a Sunday night. If you scored a goal, you'd put it on at 7:30. Doro Dimitriou, whatever his name was, would do the show. Mum, listen, you're going to say my name or whatever. You get the Barighergi newspaper or the Eleftheria to see if your photo was in there or the team photo was in there. And at one point with Omonia as well, do you remember someone called Barry de Levendi?
Yeah.
He used to do a thing on the radio.
Yeah.
He was a big Omonia fan.
I know. Yeah.
He got me and George.
Didn't he have an afternoon show? He was quite a funny guy, wasn't he? He had an afternoon show.
Yeah. And
or Barry's Olivendis.
Oh, Barry's Olivendis. Yeah, he would like always mention Omonia on his shows. We even done a record. We had the Omonia team go down, and like a England World Cup song. We even done that. So that's how much you actually you felt like a like a
Like
footballer.
a celebrity, man. It's like a
Yeah,
celebrity.
people would recognise you. I'd go down Herring games, like, you know, people would stop you. There was one night I was going out with one of my friends. He had a cousin over from Cyprus, so we jumped in the cab together to go clubbing into town. He turned around to me, goes, I saw you on TV in Cyprus. I was like, what? Okay. So yeah,
Excellent.
good. But
Brilliant.
yeah,
Tony, do you know what?
mention.
You know, you mentioning how people in Cyprus recognized you. I find it absolutely incredible that back in those days, the Cypriots were able to basically see what was going on in the UK with us. But now there's such a disconnect. It's unbelievable. It really is. They don't know what's going on out here. And to be honest, a lot of people out here don't know what's going on out there. It's
No.
strange.
And you
You
think
think that with the technological advances,
exactly. I know there was a stage a few years ago in K.O.P.A they were doing on the Hellenic channel. They were putting
yeah.
live on. To be fair, you know, the standard at that point, if they had live games on back then, it would have been a totally different. I think they did show one game live, or whether they filmed it and showed the highlights. This is the one where they recognised me, because I think me personally, I got interviewed after that game as well with a black eye that K.O.P.A League gave me. It was when Omonia beat AL 5-1, when, you know, the year that Omonia we won the league, and, you know, it was everything clicked for Omonia that day, and that one they showed. But if they I remember one game at New River. It was on a Friday night. There must have been about 2,000 people there. The game, and it was one of those games that had everything. Yeah, who knows what it would have been like if the technology was.
Tony, why do you think so many people showed up for effectively a non-league game? Like, even in, you know, the non-league teams in the UK don't get that, or most of them don't anyway. So why so many people? Was it just the buzz? Was it the fact that it was your friend's family playing, or it was just a day or an evening out? What was it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'll give you an example. My dad, for example, yeah, he'd come to watch, but he's not only there to watch his son, or, you know, with Demi as well, when he was playing, you know, to watch both of us play, but he's also there to socialise.
But yeah, okay.
But they would, you know, the Omonia committee would do a raffle around the pitch for a bottle of whiskey. Yeah, guess who won it every week? The Omonia committee. And then, so they knew they were, you know, they'd sit there, they have their whiskey, they have their little snacks. But I think what happened was that where the league started when it did and how it did, you had a lot of interest, and then those that initially started playing in it then probably went on to become committee members, managers, coaches, and they still got it. And then that still carried through into the late 80s and 90s. There wasn't too much else going on as well. So for those, the Greek guys, if you wanted to play football, where are you going to play football? You know, your friend or your cousin or your neighbor, they told you about this Greek league, you go and play for a club. As time went by, for me, I think the five-a-sides, when they all started opening up, it pulled players away from the league, because I'll go and get my football fix there. I don't have to go training on a Wednesday night and get up early on a Sunday, and you know, I can go and play with my friends. So a lot of people stopped playing too early, or didn't even get the chance to play. And then they started having kids, and then you go and watch their kids play. More kids going away to uni. You know, before, late 70s, 80s, early 90s, everyone was sort of more together in there, and it was the place to be on a Sunday, definitely.
Yeah,
Tony,
Tone, earlier you mentioned referees earlier, and you've got quite a special relationship with some of the refs, haven't you? I mean, they took your name very often in their little book, right? Do you wanna give us an insight to some of those occasions?
No, I'll give you one classic story. I was this was not on a Sunday at football. Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm down Seven Sisters Road. I've stopped off. I had to go and do something. I just dumped the car, running to the shop. As I'm coming out, I see a traffic warden giving me a ticket. I just see him with his back to me. I run over. It's okay, mate. I'm back. Turns round. It was a bloody referee from the K.O.P.A. He looks at me. He goes,
Amazing.
"Oh, Mr. Ponnou, not only do I have the pleasure of taking your name on a Sunday, I also can do it on my day job." He didn't let me off. He didn't let me off. But no, look, the referees and look, with fair respect to all the referees, it's tough. But especially I used to play middle midfield. Most of the time, I'd be next to the referees. I could see what they were seeing, and as far as I'm concerned, I was always right. I've seen. I'm not going to name names. Some of the funny decisions I've seen. Right. I've had one referee who didn't give a corner. The linesman was flagging for the corner, but the referee said no goal kick. So come on, look, the linesman's flagging. It come off the defender. I swear to you, he said it was unintentional. I swear.
Oh my days!
Right, wow. And I looked at him and I thought, is he winding me up or is he actually serious? But he was actually anyway. That's one. Another one. Guy's 30 yards offside. We're winning 4-5-0. The guy goes through and scores. That ref is offside. He's like, come on. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, look, I would not necessarily, not. I always shook hands. It was one referee got me into trouble, to be fair, and this is quite a serious thing where he made up stuff in his report that I'd done, and K.O.P.A actually banned me until this was a cup final at the end of the season, and the following season I had a 5-week ban in September, but then K.O.P.A didn't allow me to play until January, all because the referee just exaggerated some stuff in his report. Not exaggerated, he blatantly made stuff up, and because I wouldn't apologise, K.O.P.A said you need to apologise, otherwise you can't play. I didn't apologise. I stuck my ground. My punishment was I missed out on playing for the league side when the Cyprus national team came over. If I'd have known that, I still wouldn't have apologised.
What did you ever come across that referee again?
No, he didn't referee in that league again after.
Okay.
No. But there's times, it was nothing personal with these referees. It was always in the past. I did get a lot of bookings, not just on Sundays, also on Saturdays as well. At one point, and this is fact, I got told it when I went there. I got called up to the FA for a thing. I had the 3rd highest amount of bookings in the whole of the non-league pyramid.
In discipline, mate. My
didn't
goodness.
Didn't even win that one. No, but with respect to the referees, the characters that you had there. Sogradi was, he was a legend. There was one, Fido. I think it was a South London guy. Do you remember a guy called Fido, Neil Fido? Mike?
No, I don't remember.
You didn't mess with him. There were some referees you couldn't mess with. Others that were too nice. So you tried to get them to be on your side. You could influence a bit easier, let's say that. But yeah.
Okay, so you told us about your time at Omonia, and you won the league, that early 90s era. We're only in the 90s, but we want some more decades. Go on, take us through what happened after.
Yeah, I left Omonia. I went to Salamina. There a few years. I had Mihaly as a manager there. Character. There's a big character. I loved and respected Mihaly so much, but he confused us in the changing room because he would possession and position, he'd get them the wrong way around. So the team talks would be okay, but then we realised it. A classic story I got to tell with Mihaly was one game we've gone out. I think he was a bit annoyed with us beforehand, and for the warm up, he just went out and said, "Okay, warm up 12 laps." I was like, "What?" Like 12 laps of the pitch to warm up. So we're looking at each other, like, okay, we've got to do it. The manager said we have to do it. So we've done 12 laps of the pitch. That was our warm-up before the game. Game starts, 20 minutes in, we're 4-0 up. I turned around to the boys. I said, stop scoring goals, otherwise you'll make us do that warm-up every week. Yeah, so Salamina a few years. And then I think Mihaly was there for a few years and moved on. And then Kenny Dyer came in to be manager. No, hang on a sec. Did I get injured? I got injured. No, sorry, I had K.O.P.A. First of all. Kyriakos K.O.P.A. Played in Cyprus International, Olympiakos in Greece. He was my first manager at Salamina. Sorry. I shouldn't forget that. Because when he came to my wedding, all my family that was over from Greece, they couldn't believe that the Olympiakos legend was there. They wouldn't leave him alone. Yeah, K.O.P.A, then Tom Luizzo for a bit, and then I got injured, and I didn't play for a few years. But Mihaly came in and he made me his assistant. We had a great tour in Cyprus as well with Salamina. Again, played the first division team, second division team, third division team, and just like with Omonia, we battered the third division team, battered the second division team, and got battered by the first division team. It was the same. It was, and Mihaly in Cyprus, again, when we played Salamina, I think we played 3 at the back and 7 in midfield. That was it. Yeah, Salamina for a few years, became his assistant, and then Mihaly left. Kenny came in. I started playing again. We won the league, and then Kenny moved on, and then I became manager. And in the first season, won the league. Had a good young side there. Very, very good spirit from all the teams that I played. That team had a very, very good team spirit, and I think that was helped tremendously by the Salamina committee, who were great for that. They looked after all the players, nights out, meals, anything, any support that anyone needed, they gave. We had a good spirit. We won the league. Year after, again, went the whole season unbeaten. Last game of the season, played Apoel. Apoel needed to beat us to win the league. We just needed a draw, and they beat us. It's the only game we lost all season and lost the league. Gutted. We hit the post about 4 times. And then I think because I quit, I think the following year from K.O.P.A for a bit. I went to focus back on playing Saturdays, and then got injured again, done the other knee. Came back to Salamina for a few years. And at one point, the Salamina something happened within the Salamina committee, and it was basically that close to folding. There was literally one committee member and me who were running around doing everything. But we managed to keep it together. The committee got back together, and they went on from strength to strength. And then I stepped away from K.O.P.A for a bit, and then I think where are we now? Late 2000s, probably. Late 2000s, I came back into it with Rizzo Garpaso. My brother Demi was playing there. They had a good side. I went along training initially. I put on a bit of weight. I thought, I just want to train. Because I don't like going to the gym. I don't like just going, right, give me a football there, I'll run all day. And Rizzo Garpaso, managed by Dino Hippokratos, had a good side, some good players. And then, got involved there, started playing a bit. Then become Dino's assistant a year after. I think we got to won a few cups. The good one was the Challenge Cup. They played at Barnet at Underhill. I don't know if you remember that. That was the Aguero day. I think that's 2012. Again, but that was disappointing because there was a big crowd there, but they were mostly China fans. Back in the day, we had Ammonia finals, Salamina finals. They'd play at Enfield FC or at Finchley or whatever. They'd always be it wouldn't just be the whole league would come, But I think it was because it was the final day of the Premier League season that day. We missed out a bit.
After
yeah.
that, did you and Dino then? Was it after the season after you came Omonia?
Yeah, something like that. I think it is. Or it was 3-4 years, and then then went to Omonia, which was good. It was like I felt like I was going home, because I think that was like, for me, I'm on Omonia. That was my first club in K.O.P.A, and it was we unfortunately didn't win the league. There was a very successful Salamina team. They're very, very strong Salamina team. We gave it a go, won a few cups, and then yeah. But again, look at the standard. Then the number of teams had dropped down. The level of football wasn't, and it's not me saying it, but I was playing then in my 40s in the K.O.P.A League. If you went back to the 80s and 90s, no way could someone in their 40s have played in that league. No way. They wouldn't have, they wouldn't have got, not that I'm saying I pulled up trees or anything when I played, but I could notice the difference on the pitch. And it's a different game as well. You couldn't foul anyone.
That's half your game.
Well, you just put your body against someone, the youngsters go down and the referees give a free kick and book you for nothing. Back in the day, Jimmy Cattle used to say to us, halfway line, go through him. I mean, that's what it was. That's what it was. But
and then your final playing days was Omonia Youth, right?
No, I played. Well, final was but from Omonia, I went to play for Akna for a little bit. Pantel, I managed Pantel a bit as well, and then Omonia Youth with Bungles, who done well. Congratulations to them for winning the one of the Barnet Leagues last year. And I was still playing, in my 50s, and I think I managed to, in the last season of K.O.P.A, I think on the last game of the season was a cup game. Which we should have got given because Panathinaikos brought a non-Greek player on.
I was there. I remember I was there.
Oh, so you saw the goal. You saw my goal then.
I did.
Left foot. Last ever goal in K.O.P.A was a left foot.
Brilliant.
But look, the whole time it was enjoyable. It was a shame how K.O.P.A dwindled in the end down to the number of teams. But I can understand it. It's difficult to keep a club going. The passion and enthusiasm of big committees wasn't there. It just dwindled down, and more often than not, a lot of the teams were 1 or 2 committee members, and that was it. And you just can't, you can't survive like that.
What was it like playing with your brother?
Look, if I could have played every game with him in the same team, I would have. It was great. It was more fun playing against him.
Go on then. Why? Tell us. Go on.
No. It was. I always preferred playing with him. He was a good player. Different type of player to me. He would keep it. Very good in possession. And you knew if you show for them, he'll pass it to you. It's that a lot of players don't. They got to then take another touch or another look down. Dan would see you. He'd find you, and he would make the right pass. He wouldn't just. He'd give it to you if you can do something else with it. One game we played against each other. He was playing for Omonia. I'm playing for Salamina. There's Dad on the sideline in his Omonia jacket and his Salamina scarf, watching us.
So he was the originator of the half and half, yeah?
He was.
He's got a lot to answer to
for that. He's running at me, and I've guessed early which way he's going to go. He's dropped his shoulder a bit, but I've gone, but he's gone the other way, and I'm falling backwards now as he's going past me. I'm thinking I can't have that, so I punched him in the nuts. And I got a booking for it as well. Oh, ref, it's my brother. We're having a laugh.
Is that why he's not on tonight with us? Because he was supposed to be on. Is that why he's not on with us? Because you were going to tell that story.
Birthday today. Happy birthday, Dem. I think Cheryl, his wife, surprised him with a last minute meal out. So yeah. But
happy birthday, Demi. We'll get you on another time, mate.
Yeah, ask him about the tour in Cyprus, the Salamina one. and doing one that one.
We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that just in case there's stuff that's incriminating. No.
With that, to be fair, the tours that we went, it was so good that the K.O.P.A clubs from over here arranged that, because it gave us a feel of those levels in Cyprus. I know a lot of the boys, so when I was younger, quite a few, like George, Fidor, a few others. I should know. A lot of them went to Cyprus. A lot of boys went out to Cyprus, be it for trials or go and play there for a few months or a year, whatever. But then when we actually went and played, it wasn't that much difference in the level. It was more the fitness level when we played the top, Omonia. So it didn't help. The first game against Omonia was the day after we got there, and the night before everyone was excited and went out for drinking till 4 a.m. That didn't help. And
which year was that when you played Omonia? Which year was it that you played Omonia?
That was 90. Sure, it was 90.
1990.
They had some Yugoslav international, Georgian international, tall guy in the midfield.
Gogic.
Who
No.
I think no, I don't. He spat at one of our players. Can you believe it on the pitch?
Wow.
Because he didn't allow him to play. We had a quality centre back called Rodney. Had him in his pocket that whole game, and he spat at Rodney. But Rodney didn't react. Fair play. But then I'll never forget. There was quite a big crowd as well. I can't remember the stadium we played at. Quite
Magario.
Well, it was the Magario you played, I think. Pretty sure.
Magario.
a big running track around it.
Yeah, that's Magario. Yeah.
And Rodney came off 10, 15 minutes to go and got a standing ovation. He got a standing ovation, and switch that light back on. And Rodney's like, he's waving at the crowd. Sorry, switch this light back on. Yeah, it was a good experience. Can I swear on here? In Greek?
Yeah, go on then.
Just it's not. I won't say the whole thing, but in that game, I just remember there was one bit. I got the ball and the left back come flying out, and I dragged it. I just dragged it at the last second, and as he flew in, he just flew past me. But as he flew past me, he was going, so. But no, it was a great experience, and we felt like footballers the whole time we were there, because we were training. We were training at their pitches. We were all eating together, going out together. It was really good experiences, and everybody that's been on tour, I'm sure, appreciates that from what the K.O.P.A clubs did.
I mean, the Cypriots did embrace that. They love obviously, I took my under 18s out there, a few years ago, and they just embraced the fact that there's these Gibrei predominantly coming from London to come and play football against us, and they just love that fact. And it was really nice. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It's a shame. You know what's a shame? And I don't know if you can ask this later on. I just thought of it now. It's like when K.O.P.A was at its peak, if they'd have started a non-league club then, which would be like the K.O.P.A representative side, to play on Saturdays and work its way up the pyramid, they would take all the best players that would be coming into K.O.P.A and take them, and proper coaching, regular coaching. God knows where they could have been in the football pyramid. God knows where they could have been. I know it gets more difficult as you go further up, money-wise and quality-wise. But if the setup was right, the K.O.P.A League would be strong. And then by having a potentially K.O.P.A non-league team, they could have got youngsters over on loan from Cyprus or Greece, whatever, as well. The teams in Australia in the A League, a lot of those were set up like K.O.P.A teams. Yeah, when they started in the Greek community there. Yeah. I think we missed a big trick over here. It's a shame. It's a shame because I've played with and seen so many good players who were good enough to go pro. I've played against pros over here on Saturdays, and it's like, hang on a sec, you're not that much better than him. You know, he's play. You know, some of the players, Bubsy and Chinny used to play for Omonia. The skill levels they had, ridiculous. Fitness, discipline. That was the key thing. That unfortunately is what the Greeks didn't have. But was there anything to aim for? Do you know what I mean? You're going on a Sunday, you're playing, you're having a good game, you're happy. That's it. But how many players were coming in and actually really improving, really pushing on? They didn't, because they didn't have to. Whereas if you had that pyramid, they would have had to. Keeps it coming in. It's a shame.
Excellent. Stell, have you got any photos to share?
Yeah. Let me bring them up.
Go on, then. Go on.
That's the first year at Omonia. And to be honest, some of the guys, I can't even remember the names. There was one guy there, the bottom row, second from the right, Roberto. He was a head doorman around a lot of clubs in London.
He looks like Dennis Wise.
And that was he was a good person to know back then, because he'd let you into any clubs. One of the guys there in the middle, Nick, he swallowed his tongue during a game once at Broomfield Park, and no one knew what to do. Luckily, you know, obviously he's all right now. I just remember one of the supporters coming on with he picked up a bit of dendro, a stick, to use this to get it out. But I think then they started being a bit more serious on the first aid, you know, when that happened. But some good players there, you know, Georgiou in the background, my mate Fully there, Banana Man, who's I'm next to the coach on the right, at the top. I'm second back row. Look at that hair, lovely.
George is the one on third from the left, isn't he?
Yeah.
George was a good player, wasn't he?
He was a very good player, centre forward. No messing. Old school number 9. No messing about. Guarantee you goals.
Let's go. What's have we got? Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
My goodness.
Look at that beautiful
I see Duran right there. Flipping hell.
I'm not joking you, yeah. We used to get females come and watch our games.
Listen,
you had little A on last week talking about the girls that would come and watch the Pantel games. We started it back in they would come and home and away.
Hey, who's the guy on the right hand side?
That's I don't know.
That looks like Rick Astley. Come on. You got a Rick Astley, you got one guy from Duran on the left, and in the middle you got kind of like a George Michael thing going on there, man.
In the middle is my mate Fully. He's the one who got me to money. I mean, that's the two on Fully and me, the Wembley doubles champs.
Look
and
at
George,
that.
dangerous
Barnet
through.
half, though.
Yeah,
nice.
88 or 89. Wow,
I love that kit as well, man. That's got retro vibes written all over. Look at that.
Yeah.
Amazing. What's this?
That's Salamina. That's Salamina when I was managing. I think that was the year after we won the league. My favourite player to watch there, who's Rob Collins.
Oh, Rob was. He's you're on the right as a manager. You got someone next to him. Rob's next to that person, isn't he? Yeah.
When he first came to, I think Mitzi brought him along. I played with Mitzi at Omonia. He came to Salamina as well. He was a right back at Omonia. He came to Salamina. I thought he was a centre mid all of a sudden, but no, he done well, or left wing. I can't remember. But he brought Rob with him to play in a friendly. And after the game, I went up to Rob. I said, "What are you doing here?" He was just too good. He was too good. He'd just been coming back from a bad injury. I think he was at Stevenage. You know, we arranged for clubs to come and have a look at him. You know, Norwich wanted him to go. He didn't want. You know, didn't want to go. Some of the stuff he used to do on the football pitch was actually, it was ridiculous. I mean, you don't even see it on at the top level. Some of the things he did, and fair play. My favourite player to watch play with. One of the goals he scored, I'll never forget. Straight for the goal kick. He brought it down about 40 yards out on the touchline. And as he brought it down, he's turned and he's hit it first. He's chipped it first time over the keeper from about 40 yards. Ridiculous goal. But no, good player there.
We played with him in the K.O.P.A vets. And I knew, obviously, I've seen him play, and I'm nowhere near that level at all. Just being on the same pitch with him is like that touch, that first touch, that turn. And we're talking when he's like well into his 40s. It's incredible. Brilliant player.
Some other, you got Ilya Constantin there, Pani, the goalkeeper, Terry, unfortunately, that's his soul. We lost to
Terry.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Wow. Flipping hell. Yeah. When I heard about him passing, wow.
Yeah.
He was a great keeper, though, Terry. He was a great keeper.
We do a memorial tournament for him every year at Trent Park. A few guys that I know organise it. That's towards the end of the. I think it's in the summertime.
Is that Tony Fiore at the bottom?
Peter Fiore, yeah.
Yeah, a good coach he is.
Yeah, very.
Really, he was at Leighton, wasn't he? He was at Leighton Orient. He
started his coaching back then when he was playing. And you got Theo Brogobil right behind him. Chris Musigos next to him there. You had on the other week Halil. Yeah, and a few others. Andy Achillea standing next to me, legend. He still plays. Super fit guy.
Brilliant. It's a good team, that. Really good team.
Mikti, 1992. Jimmy Cattle. There's Brian Hines there, next to the goalkeeper.
Yes.
On the goalkeeper's left. Next to him, Mario Cipriano. Another legend. Sean Abbott. Next to is me with the curtains. And then look, you got Prod there. You got Pedro there.
Is that Kip on the front row?
Kip's on the front, hogging the cup.
Yeah.
Pete Christophe there. Peter Lucraft, Chinny. I mean, these players, ridiculous players. You know, and there was such a pool to choose from as well. You know, he probably could have won that cup from, choosing 36 three different teams could have won that. That's how good the league was back then.
I find it remarkable how, one photograph can bring back so many memories. I mean, obviously, I don't know what's going on and everything, but just hearing the passion in your voice just shows how much it meant to you and obviously your teammates. And, the question that I wanted to ask there, Tony, is when did, you mentioned the attendances at the beginning was like 2,000 people, etc. When did it start dwindling?
You would still get good attendances for the big games, but I think they started to sort of die down. I'd probably say, I've lost track of the years now. When did I become Salamina manager? Like early 2000s, in the 2000s, it probably started to dwindle down a bit. And I don't know if that was more football on TV as well.
Right.
More football on TV. The standard dropped as well, which, I mean, I noticed it when I first started managing Salamina, like training, practically everyone would be there. You'd have 15, 16 people there, no problem. After about 2-3 seasons, that would drop to 6, 7, 8 people. And I don't know if that was because then they started showing Champions League on TV. Arsenal in the Champions League, I can't come training. Man U in the Champions League, I can't say that for Spurs, but I think there was lots of different factors that just all came into play at the same sort of time. So with the standards sort of dropping a bit, football on TV, other social media, computer, everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when you mentioned it was 88, 89 when you were playing, and wasn't that the year when Michael Thomas scored that goal at Anfield?
I don't know.
Don't tell him that still.
I don't know what goal that was.
Don't tell him that still. Still doesn't know. Still doesn't know you're a Liverpool fan.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Don't worry. All I know about that is I still can't believe that in the last seconds of a game like that, Steve Nicol, who was the last man, didn't just stamp him in the chest.
Take him out. Yeah.
The reason I mention it is because what was the atmosphere like around the league then? Because I know obviously you got was it Barclays Division 1 back then, but there still must have been a buzz because Euro 88 had just finished. You know, football was at its peak in England, I think, anyway, back then in the late 80s. So mixing that with, you know, being a supporter and then playing as well, it must have been extra special, no?
Yeah, because you know, you think you're a footballer, didn't you? You go out and play. And I always used to say, you know, even when I was coaching, managing, whatever, I said, look, you work in finance, you're a student, you're this, that, but on a Sunday when you're here, you're footballers. That's how you got to look at it. And you know, I wish they did, some of them, but yeah, you I don't know. I think a lot of us, it seemed, had more love for football,
Right,
than what there is now, because maybe we didn't have too much else.
right.
You
Makes
know,
sense.
we had, okay, the computer games just started, but you go a few, the generation, not generation, but those that were maybe 5-6 years older than me, they didn't have that. They said going out football. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's it like now? Like, I mean, you still come to games. I still see you at games. And when I as well, when we see people from K.O.P.A back, you know, back then, what's it like? What do you lot talk about? What's the first thing that you may say to people, or they may say to you when K.O.P.A comes to mind? What are conversations like?
You know what, you've got a bond there straight away. You can find something to reminisce about. You can, it might be certain games, you know, if it's somebody from you know, if I see someone from the old Omonia lot, we'll talk about the tour in Cyprus. The same with the Salamina thing. Oh, do you remember when we threw Mihali's shirt in the pool, or we threw Mihali in the pool on the last night? It's you find something to talk about, and that's the beauty. And it might be someone you've not seen for 10 years. Might be someone you've not seen for 15 years. I am sure. I was on holiday with my wife in Mexico a few years back, and I'm sure I saw someone from the K.O.P.A League there. We were walking along the beach. I could see someone, and from a distance, I thought, this guy looks familiar, and I could see, both looking at each other. And as we walked past, we just sort of glanced and thought, okay, maybe not. But he had that same thing. I should have stopped and asked, but I don't know. It's just you find something in common, and that was what was great about K.O.P.A, because everybody's got friendships from there, acquaintances. You bump into people. You go to a restaurant, you'll see someone. You go to a wedding, you'll see someone from back in the day, and that's it. And everybody, look, for me as well, a lot of people I see from, they ask, how's my dad? Because then they know dad from going to all the games. They know he's in Greece now. They'll always ask, always interested. So no, it's all good.
Tony, where did you guys go on your squad night out? You know, what was the usual place?
I think the Omonia things at the beginning, we used to go clubbing in London because we had Roberto there would get us in.
Right.
Your Hombres and Samanthas. I don't know if that's maybe before your time.
Yeah. No,
I've heard of
I've
Samantha's.
frequented those establishments many a time. I had a friend who was a barman at Hombres. So
Who's that?
I had a friend, a Vass. My mate Vass was a barman at Hombres. So when we used to ask for a single shot and get a triple or a quadruple.
Bloody hell. And there was one point, Samantha's on a Tuesday night was 25p a drink.
Yes.
Hombres, Wednesday night, 50p a drink.
So with Samantha's, I was at uni, and we had some friends come over, and one of their friends was DJing there, my friend George, and goes, let's go down to Samantha's. Well, go on then. So from Colchester, went all the way down to Samantha's because it was 25p a drink, and our mate George was DJing.
As you do. No, that was the time we used to go to restaurants and clubs, and this is a good thing. It's like back then, you know, the clubs would do dinner and dances during the season. They'd do raffles during the game. They would raise money for whatever the players need. And to be fair, you know, we would get money towards boots. They would pay for like any physio bills, nights out to restaurants, or the Greek Community Centre was one if it was like a quick get together. But yeah, I heard we were professionals. We never used to go out.
Nere. What about, you know, you mentioned the dinner and dances. Did you have any like professional singers showing up from Cyprus or Greece and anything?
Do you know what? I don't know if they did back in the day. I can't. This is a long time ago, and it's probably a bit drunk to remember. But I know. Salamina did one recently where they brought one over from Greece. I can't remember his name. He's quite
Okay,
big.
well, there's one.
It's quite big. Do you know which one I mean, Mike?
No.
He's got quite a distant voice, but
Don't worry.
high, high end, like proper, not just someone who does it in the Horio. It was like a proper,
Yeah.
one of the top ones. And fair play to
Fair.
him again. Salamina were excellent with things like that.
Were they the best committee? Were they the best committee you worked with?
I think so. Yeah, Salamina were. They were an excitable committee. They were a very proud committee. Great. They were really, really good. One thing I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Just say about the committee now. I can't remember. It slipped my mind. But you had characters like Spiri. God rest his soul as well. Another one we lost. Arthur and his brother Aristo, Sodiri. These guys were characters, and as a player for Salamina and when I was manager as well, you'd want to do things for them. They were the heart and soul of the club. Do you know what I mean? But the same say this is what I was going to say. As a player, right? You just go, you take it for granted. Everything you turn up, you play. You don't have to pay. You didn't have to pay subs. You might get a bit of expenses. They feed you afterwards, whatever. You turn up, you don't realize all the stuff that goes on behind it. I only realized that when I got involved in helping out Kenny and Mihaly as assistant manager, and then become manager as well. I've been on committees as well. There's so much to do. And I think I'm sure players do appreciate it after, but they don't too much at the time.
Yeah.
But for the Salamina committee, you would, I remember one game we were down in, I think it was a semi-final of a LFA down in South London, and they weren't too fond of Greeks down there. Put it this way.
I'm from South London.
It's your fault.
Yeah, and we were all getting told to go and open up kebab shops during the game. And it was quite a hostile atmosphere, and it didn't help. So switch this light on. You can see how amorphous I am. We were 2-0 down after about 20 minutes. But then Mihaly, who was manager at the time, made some changes, made a few changes. We came back and won the game on penalties. It was chucking it down. I think if I tell you probably 10 people from each side, everyone apart from the goalkeepers took a penalty that day, and 5 people scored. Half of them were, more than half were missed. Everybody was missing the penalties. I think only my brother and Peter Thiori scored from us and one other. And when we won, it meant so much to the committee. They were celebrating more than us in the changing room. They were singing, all these songs were coming out, and it was good.
Tony, what do you miss most about it, though? What do you miss most about the K.O.P.A League in general?
You know what? It was phases. Sorry, let me switch this bloody light on. I don't know what's going on. It was phases. Initially, the competitiveness of it, having to improve as a player, wanting to win, wanting to do as well as you can. And then that sort of phased out where you realise, okay, it's a little bit more than just football. Even though you can on the pitch, no one was my friend. Yeah, no one. If you saw me and Shagali play against each other, right, you would think, what's going on here? But after the game,
we've got a photo, haven't we? You've got a photo of that still, I think.
There's quite a few photos here, man.
Yeah,
There's
the one with the elbow in Tony's face.
Let Hold on. Or
There
There
we
we
go.
go. There we go. Now, I'll give you like the first time I played against Shags, played for Monia down at Market Road. When I started playing for Monia, I was playing either left midfield or right midfield. And then Jimmy Cattle came up to me that day and he said, "Okay, I want you to play in the middle today. I want you to take care of Shags." Right? I'm like, okay. I've gone out there and I'm speaking to the other boys. Which one's Shags? Which one's Shag Ali? And one of them pointed over, and I just see this tall guy coming out, bald hair, looks quite old. I thought, okay, easy. Cocky young me. First few minutes of the game, I'm standing next to him. I was like, I don't know. It's the first time I played in the middle. I've been told to take care of you. I think I'm going to have an easy game. Right? Cocky me. Yeah, I was 18, 19, where it was. He just turned around. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me. Okay. Goalkeeper kicks the ball out. Gone up for a header. Boof. Blood squirt. I've still got the scar. I've still got it. True story. Every time I put my tongue in my lip, I still feel it.
Flashbacks.
But for me, that didn't scare me, and I don't know if that sort of molded me as a player as well, because it's like, hang on a sec. Okay, I'm going to go in. It wasn't dirty. It was like, it was physical then. It was a totally different game. But we'd shake hands at the end of it. And you know that, we can have a laugh and joke about it in that picture. That's having drinks after a game. And yeah, with the K.O.P.A thing, you realize, you get so many people that you get to meet and your acquaintances with, and I think that if you look back, that's why it was set up. That's why the guys set it up initially, and then it reached the crest of good football, and that should have been taken another level, but it wasn't. But then we should have at least tried to maintain the social side of it as well, especially for the youngsters. You look at the Barnet League now; they've got how many Greek teams they got in there?
Yeah, there's loads. I mean, they're just in the division that Ammonia Youth are. They played Commie the other day.
Yeah, you got Commie,
Pantera, you got Trent. That's just 4 in one division.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are played in K.O.P.A right until the end.
Yeah, and it's weird because I think Chris mentioned it as well. There were some people who didn't know about K.O.P.A, didn't play in K.O.P.A, who had this perception of K.O.P.A of, what's that? It's just like, it's a trouble league. Everyone just goes and kicks each other, and they don't know how to play football. But far from it.
Mm. Mm. So, two quick questions. Best player you played with, best player you played against.
I have to say, I mean, there's so many. The Ammonia boys, Bubsy, Chinny, George, Fidor, ballers. Chris Carley, when I had 1 year playing with Chris, I wasn't scared of anyone when Chris was behind me. But with, like I say, I think that even though I was manager, I was player manager, though, it was Rob all day, because he just done things that I hadn't seen anyone do. Some of the touches, the moves, you name it. And against, you say, I mentioned Greg Zakaria before for AL. AL had a lot of good players, but Shags was the man. He was the man, and I think there was the one game when Omonia we beat them 5-1. I just remember coming off that pitch thinking, I've hardly touched the ball today. Right? I was like, I was in a daze. I don't, because I had a black eye from Shags as well, a bit of concussion maybe. But then I remember getting interviewed afterwards, going man of the match. And I was like, but I was thinking Bubsy and Chinny ripped them to bits up top. But then with hindsight looking back, I think what I'd done that day, I stopped Shags playing that day because I was just on him like a rash. I wasn't scared of him. He was going in hard. I was going in hard. And if you stop Shags playing, the rest couldn't. It allowed us. And but he was stand out because he had that presence on the pitch. He was fit. He was strong in the air. 9 out of 10 tackles he would win, and if he wanted to bully you, he would bully you. But it wasn't just about bullying. These are proper players. Good touch, good passes, everything. So yeah, Shag's best player against, and Rob best player with.
Brilliant.
Tony, if you could think of any game που σηκώνουν οι τρίχες σου, like, is there a specific one that gives you the goosebumps?
Yeah, I think it was I think the first season at Omonia, we were playing Athletic at Broomfield Park. We were 4-1 down. But I think Brian Hines scored 3. I think he scored a hat-trick from corners. Every corner they were scoring. 4-1 down with like literally 5 minutes to go. And I don't know what happened. We just went into one, and it was my first goal for Omonia. It was my first goal for Omonia at Broomfield Park. I scored the equaliser, buzzing, thinking that's it, draw. And then bloody George Georgiou pops up and scored the winner. We beat him 5-4. But he scored 4 goals that day. But that game stands out because you just remember the drama of the life. And when I tell you, like, all this, you're talking like 60, 70-year-old supporters on the pitch chasing after us, celebrating. We had this great supporter called Bumbo. He was quite not Bumbo's Lambos, the Buddy Gay main man, who was, he's a top Omonia bloke as well. There's another Bumbo. He was quite heavy. I think that's him in the picture. No, it's not in the picture. Him trying to. It's probably the first time he ran in about 20 years. But he caught us up as well. That was the thing. He was just mad. It was just mad. But there was lots.
He must have had money on it.
Yeah, probably. Lots of games like that.
Brilliant. Well, look, I got one more question. Right. High pressure situation. Last minute penalty. Which one of your former teammates or opponents steps up to take it? Who'd you give it to? Who'd you give the ball to?
Not me. I'll put it over. I was going to say, I was going to give him a shout. My son-in-law. He was actually, I got my daughter's getting married next year, and her fiance Marco. I played with him at Omonia Youth, so it's weird because he's a son-in-law, but also a former teammate. It's bizarre. I was thinking about him. He's got a great left foot, but he missed one in the cup final last year, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Yeah. Difficult. I would say Peter Fiori.
Interesting.
Okay.
He was my penalty taker at Salamina, and I don't think he missed one. So fair play, Pete. He didn't have a change of pace, but he was a great penalty taker.
He was a calm individual, wasn't he? Really calm. Top coach, really good coach. I learned lots of him. He was a good coach.
That name rings a bell. I'm sure I'm gonna have to do a Facebook search on this one because I'm pretty certain I know this guy. So again, I'm shit with names and faces and everything. So
yeah. Pete's a top guy.
Okay.
So last question from me. If we were to get someone on this pod to give us, so we can interview, give us some stories, who would you suggest?
Ooh. You got to get Mikko on. You have to get Mikko on because Mikko is the oldest goal scorer in K.O.P.A. And if he's watching this, Mikko, it was Division 2, shouldn't count.
Oh my God, he's not going to do it now. Fucking hell.
No, but Mikko's been there since day dot. He's been involved in all the teams. He's probably seen. He would have seen it all from the 70s. He's played in the 70s as well. So yeah, he would have seen it all, and he could probably give you maybe a lot more.
He'll give us a history lesson.
A lot more,
know it.
Especially about the beginning. Especially about the beginning when it just must have gone boom. Really, all these clubs just popped up in one go. I remember when I was really young, going past Finsbury Park and seeing loads of people there. There was a K.O.P.A game there. I say the only thing that pains me from the league is that we missed out the opportunity to really develop it. I mean, Salamina and St. Pantilimon, fair play to them for giving it a go in the pyramid. But you can see, it's a difficult thing. if K.O.P.A had done it with the right support, you know, they would have had all the grit. It's not a club. So it would have been the whole community, you know, could have been there. You get good youngsters in, get good coaches in. And it's, yeah, look, it's been, say, from the 80s up until a few years ago when it stopped, it was part of my thing on a Sunday. I didn't know what to do with myself on a Sunday if I didn't have God. But I was even, one year, I signed a contract. I was playing Saturdays. I wasn't allowed to play Sundays. After about 2 months, I went back to the club and said, can you take me off the contract? Because I still wanted to go and play on the Sundays as well. Nothing to do with the fact they were going on tour at the end of the season and it would have been a free holiday.
Wow, yeah. Perks. You get perks in different ways.
Good. It was good, and you know, it's always nice. You bump into people, you see people, you talk about it. You know, there's probably loads of stuff that when I'll be driving home later, I'll think, oh, I wish I said that. This game about that player. If I've missed anyone and you're listening to this, I apologise. Everyone I played with was top quality players. Even sort of when I was getting older. And to be fair, I actually enjoyed it more when I was in my 50s. For some reason, if I'd score or assist, I actually enjoyed it more then than back in the day. It's weird.
It's because you're saying to yourself, I still got it.
Yeah, I say it to myself a lot. I still say it now. Even when I can't play, I still say it. I watch the Premier League game and I'm thinking I can come on and do something in 5 minutes. That's just the mentality that I've got.
Mr. Slot.
Don't worry.
So, thanks very much for the memories. Thanks very much for the stories. Great having you on. And if you do remember anything, start writing things down. We'll get you back on. We'll get you back on with your brother.
Yeah. Get my brother on it. Just get look, anything you want. You know, when you sent me that message, I actually thought you wanted us to. I actually started typing it out yesterday. These questions. I thought, am I going to sit here and type all these? And I started typing it, and I read it properly. I thought, okay. I actually thought it was homework you sent us.
I know I'm a teacher. I'm not going to set you homework for a podcast.
But look, guys, keep it up. Keep this going as much as possible. I'll spread the word. This, you know, whatever. Even my wife, I shall. She was going, is it live tonight? What time is it? She's going, oh, can I watch the recording? So, but yeah, she knows as well. You know, she's how much time away was spent with football. Not only the playing side of it, but the managing and the training, this and that. But she's got me at home on Sundays now. She's probably thinking, what's he doing there?
DIY.
Oh, don't say that. You're going to trigger it. All right. Can you cut that bit out?
No.
Well, Tone, I was going to say, so when I stopped coaching, I said to my wife when I stopped, and I said to her, well, you got me back on Sunday. She goes, no, you're going to find something to do. So I became a ref. But I would not suggest that for you.
I couldn't. I've got a guy that I work with, Luke, who he referees. He started a few years ago. And even he himself said he could never have seen himself as a ref, but he loves it. And I considered it for about 10 seconds. I just would get no. Fair play to respect to you. You know the temperament you guys must have, but it's important. It's so important for the game. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Gives you something to talk.
Thanks very much, mate.
But
there you are. Well, that's it for another episode of This Is K.O.P.A. Thank you, boys and girls, for tuning in. Don't forget, I was going to get up the socials. Here we go. At Del Piero. It could be Del Piero. Why not? Follow him. Give him a shout. Follow Del Piero and Del Pieri. There you go. And follow us at This Is Mappa on Instagram and X. If you haven't watched it, tune in to the Leon Balogun interview. Fantastic stories the bloke has got. Incredible. They talk about a guy that's played against the likes of Aguero and Lewandowski, for crying out loud. I mean, Steven Gerrard coached him at Rangers. Anyway, these are the levels that we're going to for Cypriot football and the K.O.P.A League. So until next time, boys and girls, adios.